If you've been hitting the gym, doing cardio, lifting weights, but you still notice that your belly fat not going down, you still notice when you're stepping on the scale, the weight not going down the way you want it to, or maybe you just like your body ain't toning and leaning not the way you want it to. If any of that sounds like you, in this video, I'm gonna break down why nutrition is critical, is crucial, most important when it comes to weight loss. And it's not the gym that's holding you back. It's your lack of understanding with nutrition. Okay. This is a common issue that I see from a lot of people that reach out to me for help, putting in all this time and effort in the gym, yet they're still not seeing their body change and they don't look like they work out. Okay. And so if that sounds like you, I'm going to break down, the things that I've been able to help my coaching clients do. I've been coaching now over the past 16 years. Also things that I've learned from Georgia State University with exercise science and nutrition. That way you can save a lot of time. That way you're not wasting time and effort thinking that you're doing the right things, but you're not. Okay. And so with that said, here's the thing. I still want you to lift weights. I still want you to exercise. I still want you to do the cardio, all that. Those are great things to do because if you want to tighten and tone, those are things that are important. If you want to build muscle, you want to look good in your clothes and when you take your clothes off. I say it's a lot. You got to make dates with the weights. And so, still want you to do these things. But if you're not understanding why you're not seeing the progress that you want to see, it's the nutrition. It's 100% the nutrition. Okay. And so here's what I mean. You can't outwork poor nutrition habits. I see a lot of folks, they go to the gym, they're spending 30 minutes to an hour on some type of treadmill machine or the elliptical or the Stairmaster, and they're in there to burn 4, 5, 600 calories on the treadmill or some type of cardio machine, not realizing they can leave the gym after burning, let's just say 500 calories, and then they go eat a burger and a fry. That can easily be, let's just say Five Guys, burger and fry. I like Five Guys. I like Shake Shack. Easily over 1,000 calories. And so everything you just did in that gym to burn that 500 plus calories, you just put all those calories back in your body within a matter of minutes. If you're hungry, if you're stuffing it, I know some of y'all be stuffing y'all face, and you eat that burger and fry within 5, 10 minutes, you just put that whole 1,000 plus calories back in your body. Okay, and so very very important to understand you cannot outwork poor nutrition habits. A lot of people have this thought process of, well, if I just go to the gym and I get on these machines and it says I burned 3, 4, 5, 600 calories, I can go eat what I want to eat. Don't do that. That's like trying to lose weight on hard mode. You are going to have a significantly hard time trying to lose weight. Okay, it's almost like being a business person who's working extremely hard, yet they have very um, sporadic spending. Zero discipline with how they're spending their income and their money, and they wonder why they go broke. They're putting in the work. They're working hard, but they don't have anything to show for it because of how their spending habits. And so, same thing here. We don't want to be working hard in the gym, but the eating habits are just all over the place, inconsistent. Okay. And so, that's the first thing. The second thing is this: all calories are not created equal. There's a lot of people who will try to go to these fast food places and eat at home and eating a lot of processed food, and they say, oh well, it's not that many calories, and that in hopes that they're going to lose weight. But in reality, they may lose a little bit of weight temporarily, but they find themselves hungry, irritable, having brain fog, feeling like they're starving, and they feel like they can't really produce and do what they need to do in the gym because the food quality isn't what it needs to be. And so it's not just about calories in, calories out. That's what most people think. What it really is, you want to focus on energy management, like your calorie intake, but the quality. And so being mindful of, are you eating the right amount of protein on a daily basis? Ask yourself, how much protein are you eating on a daily basis? This isn't like for bodybuilders and fitness enthusiasts. This is everyday individuals. If you want to have good metabolic health to where you're not stressing and struggling with type 2 diabetes, brain fog, heart disease, guys, you got to eat protein. This is not for people who just want to be fit and ripped up and cut up. No, you need to have protein in your diet. I've spoken to grown men saying that they're eating they're like 5'8", 270, 280, saying they're only eating 60 grams of protein a day. I'm like, dude, I have women inside my coaching program eat 2 times as much protein as what you're eating right now. Yet they want to have a flat stomach and abs. It's not going to happen. This is what leads people to having these health issues: high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, heart disease. The quality of the food. It's not just about the quantity. That's for them young folks. Young folk, they be in their teens and in their early 20s. They can get away with that. Once we get into our 30s and our 40s and our 50s, guys, you got to be more mindful. You have to be way more intentional and purposeful with the quality of foods we eat, not just the quantity. All right. And so make sure you're eating proteins. I'm talking about, it could be fish, chicken, steak. Um, what else you got? Eggs, egg whites, whey protein shakes, things like that. You want to have enough on a daily basis because that's one of the most important macros for longevity, for building muscle, for managing our blood sugar. That way you don't have these spikes of hunger and wanting to eat, a lot of sugar. A lot of times that happens because you're not managing your blood sugar. Eating donuts and bagels for breakfast where you could have had some egg whites or some eggs or egg omelet or some chicken sausage, some turkey sausage or something like that, which is going to help you manage your blood sugar throughout the day and not have cravings later on in the evening. Very important, man. I hope y'all get that, what I just said. Okay. Um, it's just like having a car. You have a premium car. I got the C8 Corvette, and if I put regular gas in there, what is it, like 87? If I put regular gas in that car for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, that car is going to break down. It's not going to continue to perform at the level that it's supposed to perform at. But if I'm putting premium gas in that car, I'm gonna hear that engine humming. I'm gonna be impressed to get it's moving, you know. Same thing with your body. You may not notice it instantly. In some cases, you can. You can have brain fog or feel tired and sluggish 5 or 10 minutes right after eating. But over time, chronically, if you eat the wrong way and put poor nutrition in your body for a prolonged period of time, just out of convenience and pleasure, guys, this is what leads to your body not being able to keep up with your ambition, your energy. Guys, success is energy. You have to have energy to be able to excel in your career. You have to have energy, not just physically, but mentally, to be able to excel in your profession, but also still have the energy to enjoy time with your family and the people you love and care about. And so, super important. The next thing is this: when it comes to nutrition, most people drink their calories. Here's what I mean: they drink a lot of sodas, the Cokes, the Pepsis, the Simply Lemonades, the sweet teas, not realizing these calories add up extremely fast, guys. Like I was looking at this The Biggest Loser um documentary the other day, and some of these people were mentioning how they gained like 70, 80, 100 pounds in a year. A year. How does one gain that kind of weight in a year? I'll tell you how. They are drinking their calories. They're not just eating them. They're not just eating trail mix. They're not just eating pizzas. They're not just eating pasta all the time. They're not just eating ravioli and all these heavy carb, heavy foods. They are drinking their calories. As I just posted a reel recently, and it showed a can of Coke. A can, just a can, 150 calories. A can of Coke has 39 grams of sugar in it. Guys, I want you to just, if you have an electronic food scale and you have a bag of sugar cane at home, I want you to put a little cup on that electronic food scale and then pour. I want you to pour sugar inside of that cup while it's on the electronic food scale. And you want to make sure that scale is on grams. and you're gonna see how much sugar is just in a can, a small little can. You're gonna see how much 39 grams of sugar really is. It's a lot. It's mind blowing. And some people are not just drinking one can of soda a day. Some people are drinking multiple cans of soda a day. And let's just say 40, right? So if you drink 3 cans of this Coke in a day, that's over 100 grams of sugar. It's like what? 120 to be exact, if we just say 40, right? 40 grams of sugar. That is off the charts. Your blood glucose levels are going to be so high. You know, people who become like type 2 diabetics or pre-type 2 diabetics, those are the people that start to become really conscious of their A1C levels, their blood glucose levels. And they're like, "Ooh, I can't eat that. I can't eat that. That might put me in a diabetic coma." But it's people out here who are not yet diabetic, but these are the type of habits that lead them to be. All right. It's not just the low energy, it's not just the belly fat. The belly fat and low energy are just symptoms of a bigger problem. And so if you keep eating that way or drinking that way, this is how people end up in those situations where they don't have energy, they don't have motivation. You know, they're lacking physical and mental energy. All right, having brain fog. So you have to pay attention to the quality of the foods that you're eating and not drink your calories. Instead of drinking a soda, drink sparkling water. Simple fix. Okay. A lot of times people have to realize you can't just eat based on pleasure or drink things based on pleasure. People say, well, water is nasty. I didn't even know water had a taste. What? What? You know, you got to start eating based on value. Because if I'm drinking water or if I'm drinking sparkling water, I know I can still get that carbonated taste and feel when I'm drinking sparkling water, minus the sugar, minus the calories, minus the brain fog and feeling sluggish. That means that sparkling water is giving me value. That's the way you have to start thinking. These are the mindset shifts that I teach my private coaching clients inside my program. It's not just meal plan, workout plan. You have to literally start thinking differently because the way that most people have been thinking up to this point, if they're not happy with their body, they're not happy with their image, how their clothes fit, they're not happy with their health or their energy, it's been their thinking. Because if you don't think the right way, you won't have the right habits. And so this is why it's important to have professional help. That's why I always tell people that. All right. Then the last thing is this: you got to be consistent. I see a lot of people, they do these random workouts and sometimes they will start to eat healthier. And then if they're not seeing the results fast enough, they'll just fall off. And it's like, they just stop. They're looking at weight loss and losing belly fat as like a means to an end, not realizing that this is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. If you want to look good and feel good, if you like me, you want to look good and feel good year round, can take a vacation to the beach whenever you want to and be proud of how you're looking when you take your clothes off. Guys, it's a lifestyle. Otherwise, you become the person who's, oh, I gotta prepare for a couple of months before I go on this trip to the beach. I gotta prepare for the summertime and the pool. You don't want to be that person. High performance, we stay ready so we don't have to get ready. That's what it's about. And so it requires having consistent habits in the gym and consistent habits with your nutrition. That way you can keep the results and get them. The same way you've been able to be successful in your career and you are able to consistently produce in your career. You have systems. Systems breed consistency. And so a lot of people say, it's so hard for me to stay in shape and lose weight because I'm so busy. Well, busy isn't the issue. It's the lack of proper systems with your eating habits and workouts to be consistent with the results. All right. That's the shift that you got to make, guys. If you want to start getting results, you want to start seeing your belly fat going down, you want to be proud of what you see in the bathroom mirror or in your clothes and your suits, you got to start making these shifts. Okay. I do see a couple of people who commented, what if you have no choice but to survive on 3 to 4 hours of sleep and 1 to 2 meals a day? And what to do in this case? Man, you got to make some changes, especially if you're working for somebody else. You got to have this realization. Because if it's me, I'm going to have a realization like, man, I don't want to put all these years of my life into growing somebody else's business, yet my body is deteriorating. My quality of life is getting worse. Like you got to put yourself first. I understand at certain times we do have to go through things. We have to go through seasons of our life to build back up. In some cases, that's what some people have to go through. I've been through that, and you have to set goals and milestones to not stay in that place. Because you don't have to if you decide that you're not. But some people make the decision that that's going to be their life forever, and so it never changes. But if you're like me, you make a decision. This won't be my life forever. This is temporary. This is a stepping stone. And as I continue to progress, I'm going to find myself being able to get more rest because I may, if my job isn't giving me enough financial means, I'm going to be hustling on the side. I might do Uber Eats. I might do Instacart. I don't know what I'm. Yeah, it froze up for a second, guys. Let's see. Yeah, that froze up for a second. But anyway, I don't know what just happened. It froze up for a second. But yeah, you gotta hustle. You gotta put yourself first. You gotta want to make more. You gotta produce. You gotta put in little bit more effort to be able to put yourself in a position where you can get that time back, and so that you can have a better quality life. Because you should definitely be able to get a good 6 to 8 hours of sleep, man. If you can't get 6 to 8 hours of sleep, you got to start managing your time a little bit better, and so that way you can rest because sleep is critical. You cut decades of your life off if you're not sleeping. Yeah. So what do you say? The classes, shred, body weight, workout routine, do less time. Yeah, you just gotta have systems that work for you. I don't know your whole situation, but yeah, you just gotta have systems that work for your life, your body, your goals, and everybody's a little different. That's why something that I do is I help busy professionals who working hard, they're doing well in their career, but they just need structure, the right structure that fits their life with their nutrition and training. That way they can be consistent and where they can get the results and keep them. And so, I'll drop a link down below in the description for that. But these are the things you want to start doing if you want to build a body that you're proud of and build a body that matches your ambition and drive to succeed and be successful. All right. Other than that, guys, we out of here. Let's get it.